After visiting Cody and Yellowstone, most people like to make their way to Devil's Tower or even Mount Rushmore. Some want to stop in Sheridan and visit the historic Sheridan Inn, the Britton Museum, and King Saddlery Inn Museum. Obviously, the best route is the scenic one. Head through Powell and take Highway 14 through the majestic Bighorn Mountains. This will take you to the foothills and through a town claimed to be the gateway of the Tongue River Canyon, with endless scenic beauty and a whole host of caves. This adorable town with some amazing views of the Bighorns was established in 1906 and was named after Joe Dayton Thorne. This place is a farmer and rancher's dream with fertile lands and tons of available water. This small town of 824 people might be tiny, but has a lot of good history and is a host of great activities. This is definitely a place to stop and visit for a while, or even stay. You could say this town is one of the most progressive in Wyoming. In 1911, they were the first town in Wyoming to elect a female mayor, Susan Whistler. Also, during World War II, the town was protected by an all-female volunteer fire department. It was also once a place where a wooden flume that loggers sent their daily cuts down, and it also hosted the Dayton flour mill that provided some of the first electricity in the entire area. During Mayor Whistler's tenure, the Dayton Bell Tower was erected. You can still see it today in Scott Bicentennial Park. It was used initially for a fire watchtower, then adapted later to spot aircraft during the war. In the early to mid-1900s, German-born artist Hans Kleiber, the Etcher Laureate of the Bighorns, called Dayton home. The town preserved his cabin and moved it all the way to Main Street, and it is open to the public as a museum. There is a little bit of information about him in the window if you want to pause and read as I go by. If you're staying for a while or need to cool off, right next to the Hans Kleiber Museum is the community pool. And a little later, we're going to see the community hall, which was built in the 1930s and is one of the oldest community halls still maintained in Wyoming today. Just down the street from the community pool in the Hans Kleiber Museum is a little place called the Mercantile. Take a step back into the west at this little gym. Speaking of gyms, you can sluice your own bag of treasures, or stop in and have one of their delectable sandwiches, or some ice cream. And if you're going to be stopping by, you gotta get some of their kettle corn from the Kettle Cabin. As you stop by the Mercantile, it has a whole host of items inside. It has Native American handmade jewelry, handmade local jewelry, items made from alpaca wool, purses, bags, t-shirts, hoodies, and even hosts a whole selection of antiques. If you just need a place to hang out and eat your ice cream and sandwiches, the Mercantile has a fantastic area to sit and enjoy your goodies. They also have a replica of the original Dayton Bank and a fun little jail in the back for pictures. As you pass by the Mercantile, you will actually get to see Susan Whistler's original home, which is right next door. As you make your way down from the Mercantile and past Susan Whistler's house, you will run into a local gallery, which hosts local artists from the area. Also, it's a wine bar and tapas cafe. I know, crazy. Tapas cafe in a tiny town, but here it is. If you're looking for that eclectic charm or something just a little bit different, that is definitely the place to stop. As you get to the local gallery, if you'll take a left, you'll run into that community hall I mentioned earlier that was built in the 1930s. In my opinion, there's probably never going to be a terrible time to visit Dayton, but a really good time is in June, especially if you're a runner, because they host the Bighorn Trail Run, which has a 50-mile, a 100-mile, a 30K, and a 50K, and it finishes right there in Scott Bicentennial Park in downtown Dayton. They then host a big barbecue, music fest, and a whole host of other activities to enjoy right after it's all over. Now, I'm not a runner, so I'm probably just going to enjoy the after party. If you're looking for a place to stay, the Foothills Inn Campground and RV Park is phenomenal and is right next to the Tongue River. If you're looking for that small town charm with lots of activities, consider Dayton, Wyoming, a no passing zone. See you in the next one.